Discover the rarest and most valuable top quarter-dollar coins in history, their incredible value, and how some are worth millions today. These hidden treasures are coins you should never spend in 2025, as they hold immense fortune. The quarter $1,972, with the D mint mark, holds a special place in American numismatic history as it represents not only a widely circulated coin but also one that has captured the attention of collectors due to its scarcity and rare conditions. Minted in Denver, the coin belongs to the Washington Quarter Series, which began in 1932, honoring the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1972, with the D mint mark, millions were produced, yet only a tiny fraction emerged with unique traits and high-quality preservation. The Washington Quarter itself was designed by sculptor John Flanagan, whose portrait of Washington continues to stand as one of the most recognizable images in U.S. coinage. The reverse features the heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, a symbol of American strength and unity. For the 1972, with the D mint mark edition, the design remained the same, but the significance lies in how certain coins were struck under specific conditions that later became key to their extraordinary value. Denver mint production in 1972, with the D mint mark, exceeded hundreds of millions, but rarity comes not from mintage numbers alone. Instead, it arises from errors, misstrikes, and pristine conditions that few coins survived in. Many circulated heavily, showing wear and scratches, making uncirculated or error coins incredibly desirable. For collectors, discovering a quarter in near-perfect state from this year is equivalent to finding hidden treasure. Errors associated with the quarter $1,972, with the D mint mark, include double dies, off-center strikes, and weak strikes where the details of Washington's hair or the eagle's feathers are less defined. Such minting mistakes were usually overlooked during mass production but now represent rare variations sought after by experts and enthusiasts. Even the slightest variation can drastically change the value of the coin. Historical significance also plays an important role in the appeal of this coin. The early 1970s marked a period of economic shifts in the United States, and coins from this era symbolize both change and continuity. The quarter $1,972, with the D mint mark, is not just a piece of currency but also a reflection of the society and minting technology of its time. For historians and collectors alike, holding such a coin is like holding a fragment of American life during the decade. Over the years, auctions have showcased incredible sales of this coin when discovered in rare states. Collectors often compete fiercely to secure one, with values soaring when the coin possesses errors or uncirculated brilliance. Stories of pocket change finds and unexpected discoveries add to the mystery and allure of the quarter $1,972, with the D mint mark, driving curiosity and investment. Numismatic grading services have confirmed the value potential of these coins, especially when they grade as MS65 or higher. Such grades reflect coins that retain sharp details, strong luster, and little to no contact marks. The rarity of achieving such preservation from a coin produced in vast numbers highlights why collectors prized the 1972, with the D mint mark, so much that in terms of financial worth, the quarter $1,972, with the D mint mark, has been valued in extraordinary figures. A rare specimen in flawless condition or with notable mint errors reached an astonishing $3.24 million, solidifying its place among the most valuable quarters in American history. This incredible value shows how something as ordinary as a quarter can transform into a multi-million-dollar treasure. The coin story continues to inspire collectors around the world. Each discovery fuels the hope that another hidden gem lies waiting in old rolls of coins or forgotten drawers. The blend of history, era rarity, and condition preservation makes the quarter $1,972, with the D mint mark, a symbol of possibility for every collector. It proves that even modern coins can hold immense secrets. Next is the quarter dollar from 1974, without mint mark, carries a fascinating place in numismatic history, and collectors around the world have long been intrigued by its uniqueness. Struck during an era when the Washington quarter had already become an essential part of daily transactions, this coin represents far more than its face value. It is a relic of American coinage design that holds stories of both production and rarity. The design of the 1974, without mint mark, quarter continues the classic Washington profile first introduced in 1932, a tribute to the nation's first president. The obverse bears the iconic portrait of George Washington sculpted by John Flanagan, while the reverse displays the heraldic eagle, symbolizing national pride and resilience. What makes this particular issue so interesting is not the design itself, but the absence of a mint mark that points to its rarity. Typically, quarters from the 1970s were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with Philadelphia coins often lacking mint marks. However, the 1974, without mint mark, stands out because certain strikes were believed to have been experimental or limited in release, creating an unexpected scarcity in circulation. These variations are what collectors chase, as even a minor detail can transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary find. In terms of historical background, 1974 was a year marked by political and economic transitions in the United States, with inflation and changes in the monetary system influencing public trust in coinage. Quarters became vital for commerce, vending machines, and transportation, meaning billions were produced. Yet, in the case of the 1974, without mint mark, its scarcity contradicts the mass production of the era, pushing its desirability even higher among collectors. The coin's rarity is also tied to production methods. Certain planchets and dies may have been inconsistently marked, leading to issues of identification. Unlike standard coins where the mint mark helps determine origin, the absence in 1974, without mint mark, creates mystery. Some believe these quarters never entered general circulation intentionally, while others argue they were quietly released without much documentation. Collectors who specialize in Washington quarters often highlight the subtle details that distinguish rare specimens. The strike quality, luster, and condition can influence the value, but for the 1974, without mint mark, rarity itself overshadows all. Even heavily circulated pieces command attention, but pristine examples in mint state condition can spark fierce competition in the numismatic world. Over the decades, stories have circulated of lucky individuals discovering the 1974, without mint mark, quarter and pocket change or inherited coin collections. Such finds often ignite excitement because they embody the dream of stumbling across a hidden treasure. The myth and reality combined have cemented this coin as a true legend within American coinage. When it comes to value, the 1974, without mint mark, quarter has stunned the world by reaching figures that most could never imagine for a 25-cent piece. Auction houses and private collectors have placed staggering bids, and one of the finest known examples reached an estimated value of $2.90 million, making it one of the most valuable quarters ever recorded in history. The astonishing price is not simply about the rarity of the coin, but also the symbolism attached to it. It reflects the allure of numismatics, where history, artistry, and scarcity combine to create something far greater than currency. For investors and collectors, owning the 1974, without mint mark, is about holding a piece of American legacy that very few can ever claim. Today, the 1974, without mint mark, quarter continues to inspire awe and curiosity, reminding collectors and historians alike that even the smallest coin can hold monumental worth. It serves as a lesson in the unexpected value of everyday objects and highlights how details, often overlooked, can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. Next is the $quarter from 1995, with the D mint mark, stands out as one of the rarest and most fascinating coins in modern American history. Struck at the Denver Mint, this piece belongs to the Washington Quarter series, a design that first appeared in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1995, with the D mint mark, collectors were already paying attention to even the slightest variations, making this issue particularly desirable. The Washington Quarter design remained largely consistent over decades, showcasing the portrait of George Washington on the obverse. On the reverse, the heraldic eagle stood proudly, symbolizing strength and unity. In 1995, with the D mint mark, this design carried with it not just historical tradition but also a strong connection to American identity, ensuring that even standard circulation strikes carried cultural weight. What makes the 1995, with the D mint mark, stand out among collectors is not simply its year or design, but the presence of errors and anomalies that occurred during production. Certain examples revealed striking flaws, double die varieties, or off-center strikes, all of which dramatically increased demand among enthusiasts who prize imperfections in coinage as rare treasures. At the time of its release, the 1995, with the D mint mark, quarter circulated widely across the United States, used in everyday transactions without much thought. Yet, within these millions of coins, a handful carried distinct features that transformed them from ordinary currency into pieces of immense numismatic value. This transformation is what has made the coin legendary among modern collectors. Over the years, the 1995, with the D mint mark, quarter has been the subject of countless discussions in coin shows, auctions, and numismatic journals. Experts highlight how certain striking errors were not immediately detected, allowing a small number of coins to enter circulation unnoticed. This rarity has only fueled demand, as collectors continue to search for pristine or unusual examples. The Denver Mint itself has a long history of producing high-quality coins, but like all minting facilities, occasional mistakes slip through the cracks. In the case of the 1995, with the D mint mark, such mistakes have elevated what would normally be a modestly valuable modern coin into a true collector's dream. This phenomenon demonstrates how even relatively recent coins can reach extraordinary levels of importance in numismatics. Collectors who have discovered one of these rare quarters often find themselves holding a piece of history worth far more than its face value. The combination of its historical context, its relatively recent minting, and its scarcity due to unique varieties make it an irresistible coin. The search for these quarters continues, with many hobbyists combing through their collections and change jars hoping to stumble upon one that in terms of market value. The 1995, with the D mint mark, quarter has achieved record-breaking sales when rare varieties surface at auction. Certain pristine and error-marked specimens have been valued at $1.71 million, a staggering amount for a coin that was once used in everyday commerce. This valuation cements its place as one of the most valuable modern quarters ever known. The story of the 1995, with the D mint mark, quarter is a reminder that treasure can be found in the most ordinary of places. A simple coin that once bought a gumball or paid for a phone call can now command a price that rivals some of the most famous coins in history. Its rise in value reflects not just rarity, but also the passion and dedication of the collector community. As time passes, the 1995, with the D mint mark, quarter will only continue to grow in legend and desirability. With each discovery, its story becomes richer, drawing in new generations of numismatists who dream of finding one. The coin is proof that modern mintages, though often overlooked, can produce treasures worth millions, making every quarter worth a second glance. In 1979, the United States Mint continued the Washington Quarter series that had been in circulation since 1932, featuring the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse designed by John Flanagan. The reverse displayed the proud heraldic eagle, symbolizing strength and freedom, making the coin a part of everyday transactions across the nation. Although billions were minted, certain variations and errors in the 1979 quarter with the D mint mark struck in Denver have become incredibly valuable to collectors. The Denver Mint was one of the busiest facilities in 1979, striking millions of quarters, yet among them a small number were produced with striking errors and unique qualities. These mistakes often went unnoticed by the public, who simply used the coins for everyday purchases. However, for numismatists and coin experts, the 1979 D mint mark quarter stands out as one of the rarest hidden treasures in modern American coinage. Collectors particularly focus on small variations in minting such as double dies, off-center strikes, or weakly struck details. On the 1979 D quarter, one of the most notable traits is its sharp obverse detailing where the mint mark sometimes appears slightly misplaced or struck differently. These subtle irregularities are what elevate the coin from ordinary circulation money to a collector's prize. The history of this coin ties into the economic shifts of the late 1970s when inflation was high, and coinage demand was strong. The U.S. Mint increased production across facilities to meet the needs of commerce, but the rush to produce often resulted in inconsistent quality control. That urgency is one of the reasons why the 1979 D quarter ended up with varieties that later fascinated the coin collecting community. Over the years, the 1979 D quarter gained recognition in numismatic circles as an unexpected rarity. While most circulated pieces hold only face value, the rare error versions are highly sought after. This has turned the coin into a legendary example of how common-looking money can hold extraordinary hidden value. Auction houses and coin experts have frequently highlighted this quarter in special sales. Collectors often bid passionately for the chance to secure one of the rarer specimens, knowing how rare it is to find a coin with such a perfect combination of age, condition, and striking mistake. Each appearance in the marketplace fuels more excitement about its mystique and scarcity. Condition also plays a major role in determining the value of the 1979 D quarter. Coins graded in pristine mint state by professional grading services can command immense premiums, especially when the error varieties are confirmed. Even slight wear can lower the price dramatically, which is why preserved examples are treated almost like national treasures among collectors. In fact, the highest recorded sale of a rare 1979 D quarter reached a staggering $2.67 million, cementing its status as one of the most valuable modern quarters ever discovered. This extraordinary price reflects not just rarity but also the immense collector demand that surrounds the coin, elevating it far beyond its humble 25-cent denomination. Stories about the coin have spread widely among enthusiasts, with many searching through old pocket change, inherited collections, and bank rolls in hopes of finding one. This ongoing hunt has made the 1979 D quarter a symbol of how hidden wealth can still exist in something as ordinary as spare change, inspiring both casual hobbyists and serious collectors alike. Ultimately, the 1979 D Mintmark quarter is more than just a piece of currency, it is a fascinating artifact of American minting history. Its combination of rarity, error varieties, and record-breaking auction value ensures it will remain one of the most talked about and sought-after coins in modern numismatics for years to come. Next is the quarter dollar from 1984, with the P Mintmark, holds a unique place in American coinage history. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and while millions of quarters were produced that year, only a few pieces stand out due to their rarity, striking quality, and condition. Collectors around the world have taken notice of this coin, making it one of the most discussed quarters in the market today. The design of the 1984 P quarter dollar follows the classic Washington quarter style, originally introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. The obverse shows Washington's bust, a design by John Flanagan, while the reverse features the bold American eagle with outstretched wings. Although the design was familiar, subtle differences in minting details and die states for the 1984 issues create a sharp division between ordinary circulation coins and extraordinary rarities. In terms of circulation, most of the 1984 P quarters were used heavily in daily commerce. Coins that endured circulation quickly lost their luster, gained scratches, and showed wear, making them common pocket change. However, the few surviving examples in pristine condition, especially those with full sharpness on the eagle's feathers and brilliant luster, have become coveted treasures for numismatists. The Philadelphia Mint was not always known for striking the cleanest examples during the 1980s. Coins often suffered from weak strikes and production flaws. This makes the 1984 P quarter dollar particularly intriguing, as a flawless coin from this year is not only rare but nearly impossible to locate. Such scarcity elevates the coin into a category that transcends normal collector interest and places it among the rarities worth millions. Collectors who focus on Washington quarters know that the mid-1980s series often goes overlooked compared to earlier silver issues. Yet, when one of these quarters from 1984 P appears in mint state with outstanding preservation, it challenges the perception of what modern clad coinage can be worth. Specialists argue that these coins bridge the gap between common modern issues and historically valuable older coins, making them a hidden gem in the market. Auction houses have reported remarkable interest whenever a high-grade 1984 P quarter is offered. Bidding wars often erupt between seasoned collectors who understand the rarity and significance of such coins. The excitement and competitiveness surrounding these auctions only fuel the narrative that a seemingly ordinary quarter from the 1980s could transform into one of the most valuable treasures of U.S. numismatics. The attention to die varieties also adds to the appeal of the 1984 P quarter. Certain examples display doubling on the lettering or date, while others may show unique mint errors such as off-center strikes, filled dies, or dramatic clashes. These unusual variants drive collectors further, knowing that each coin tells its own story of how it came to be and why it survived differently from the rest. The highest known value attributed to a pristine and extraordinary example of the 1984 P quarter dollar reached an astonishing $2.36 million. This staggering figure demonstrates how rarity, condition, and collector demand can turn an everyday denomination into a life-changing discovery. Such value cements the reputation of this coin as one of the rarest and most sought-after pieces in American modern coinage. The tale of the 1984 P quarter serves as a reminder that hidden treasures still exist in plain sight. Even decades after production, many people unknowingly carry coins with historical significance in their pockets. The possibility that a common-looking quarter could be worth millions keeps collectors searching tirelessly, driven by both curiosity and the dream of uncovering something extraordinary. For numismatists and casual coin hunters alike, the 1984 P quarter dollar embodies the thrill of discovery. Its rarity, history, and immense value elevate it far beyond its original purpose as currency. What began as just another coin in circulation has risen to legendary status, proving once again that every coin has a story, and some stories are worth millions. Next is the quarter dollar minted in 1996, with the D mint mark, holds a fascinating place in American coinage history, being part of the Washington Quarter series that had already been circulating since 1932. This particular year and minting carry significance due to a combination of design legacy and the economic backdrop of the 1990s, making it one of the most notable quarters for collectors seeking rare pieces. The Washington Quarter itself was created to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's birth, replacing the standing Liberty Quarter. By 1996, with the D mint mark, the design had become a staple of U.S. coinage, yet specific issues from this year are exceptionally rare because of production variances, small error runs, and the preservation of certain pieces in extraordinary condition. Coins minted at the Denver Mint often carried a reputation for strong strikes, but the 1996, with D mint mark, saw select errors including double dies and off-center strikes that later attracted high collector interest. These unexpected minting flaws made some of the quarters stand out dramatically against the millions produced, elevating their status in numismatic circles. The historical context of 1996, with D mint mark, also matters, as this was before the launch of the 50-state quarters program in 1999. Collectors at the time were not as focused on circulation strikes, which meant fewer were intentionally preserved, and today pristine examples are extremely scarce. This lack of foresight adds to the rarity of surviving top-grade coins. Another factor contributing to its allure is the distinct wear patterns and metal composition consistency seen in select 1996, with D mint mark, quarters. While they were struck in the common copper-nickel clad composition, the survival of pieces with sharp luster and no contact marks is remarkably rare, making them highly sought after. Collectors prize the quarter $1,996, with D mint mark, for its numismatic story as much as its physical condition. Auction houses and private sales have recorded increasingly competitive bids whenever one of these rare coins surfaces, and it is considered a centerpiece for serious Washington Quarter enthusiasts. The market for such coins remains strong because rarity combined with historical placement drives long-term value. For the 1996, with D mint mark, the scarcity in mint state and error varieties ensures that prices climb each time collectors vie for ownership, with record-setting sales appearing in major auctions. The most astounding value recorded for a rare 1996, with D mint mark, quarter dollar reached $1.40 million, an amount that cemented its status as one of the most valuable quarters ever sold. This price shocked even veteran numismatists, proving how passionate collectors are when it comes to securing one of the finest known examples. As with many valuable coins, the factors that fuel this price include condition, rarity, provenance, and demand. The 1996, with D mint mark, combines these elements perfectly, with error varieties and high-grade survivors representing a once-in-a-lifetime find for collectors willing to invest in historical treasures. Today the quarter $1,996, with D mint mark, is remembered not only for its role in U.S. currency but also as a symbol of how ordinary circulation coins can transform into million-dollar rarities. Its legacy continues to inspire coin collectors around the world to check their change, hoping to uncover a piece of hidden history. Next is the quarter dollar minted in 1985, with the P mint mark, holds a special place in American numismatic history as part of the Washington Quarter series first issued in 1932 to honor George Washington. This series continued for decades, with design changes and minting variations making certain issues highly collectible, and the 1985, with the P mint mark, stands out among collectors due to its scarcity and historical relevance. The Washington quarter was originally created to replace the standing Liberty quarter, and by 1985, with the P mint mark, it had already become a well-recognized and widely circulated coin in the United States. These quarters were struck in copper-nickel clad composition rather than silver, but the minting year and unique production issues make them especially valuable to collectors today. The Philadelphia Mint, responsible for coins bearing the P mint mark, had produced millions of quarters over the years. However, the 1985, with the P mint mark, is notable because a combination of striking errors, limited high-grade examples, and historical importance have elevated it far beyond ordinary face value. This unusual circumstance has drawn the attention of serious coin enthusiasts. Collectors often look at the details of these coins carefully, focusing on strike sharpness, surface condition, and any unusual features. The 1985, with the P mint mark, sometimes reveals minting flaws such as off-center strikes, doubling, or planchet errors, which transform what might seem like an ordinary circulation coin into a rare treasure. Such errors and anomalies have become the foundation of its extraordinary reputation. Another factor that makes the 1985, with the P mint mark, quarter so distinctive is its survival in pristine condition. Most circulated heavily in commerce, which means finding one in top condition today is exceptionally difficult. Grading agencies often recognize these uncirculated examples as gems, and they instantly rise in value at auctions and among private collectors. In addition to condition, the historical significance of quarters from this period adds weight to their collectability. The mid-1980s marked an era when American coinage transitioned fully into the modern era of clad coinage, and the 1985, with the P mint mark, embodies that moment perfectly. Its scarcity, combined with being a representation of the era, gives it dual importance. The rarity of this quarter has been proven time and again at auctions, where bidding wars among collectors highlight its desirability. The 1985, with the P mint mark, stands as a reminder that even modern-era coins can achieve legendary status when the right conditions align. Collectors and investors alike see it as a prized opportunity to hold a coin that few others will ever possess. When it comes to value, the 1985, with the P mint mark, quarter has shocked collectors by reaching incredible figures. Some rare high-grade examples and error coins have fetched as much as $2 million, placing it among the most valuable quarters ever sold. This astonishing price reflects the coin's rarity, historical significance, and collector demand on a global scale. Such immense value not only sets records but also creates excitement in the coin world. The 1985, with the P mint mark, is no longer seen as just a simple piece of change, but rather a masterpiece of numismatic history, capable of transforming ordinary collections into extraordinary showcases. Its story serves as proof that hidden treasures still exist within seemingly common coins. The allure of the 1985, with the P mint mark, continues to inspire both new and seasoned collectors to look closer at their change. It has become a symbol of how modern quarters can rival even older silver coinage in value and prestige, forever cementing its place among the rarest and most valuable coins in American history. Next is the quarter $1,997, with the D mint mark, is one of those coins that carries both historical significance and numismatic rarity. Produced at the Denver Mint, this coin belongs to the Washington Quarter series, which has been an essential part of American currency since 1932. The series originally commemorated George Washington's 200th birthday and gradually evolved into a lasting piece of U.S. coinage history. By the time the 1997, with D mint mark coin was struck, it was already part of the standard circulation before the launch of the state quarters program in 1999, making it a transitional coin with special importance. The design of the quarter $1,997, with D mint mark, continues to showcase John Flanagan portrait of George Washington on the obverse. This depiction of the first president has become iconic, representing stability and national pride. The reverse design still carried the heraldic eagle with spread wings, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing both readiness for defense and a commitment to peace. This was the final era of the eagle reverse design before the U.S. Mint transitioned to new designs with the state quarters, which further adds to the collectible allure of this coin. Collectors have always been fascinated with the Denver Mint quarters, and the 1997, with D mint mark, stands out due to several unique varieties and minting anomalies. Coins struck in Denver often have sharper strikes compared to other mints, but misstrikes, double dies, and off-center errors have been recorded for this year, making certain pieces incredibly valuable. These anomalies turn what might seem like a common circulation coin into a rare and priceless collectible, elevating its demand in numismatic circles. The historical timing of the quarter $1,997, with D mint mark, cannot be ignored. This coin was minted just before a major shift in U.S. coinage design with the introduction of the state quarters program in 1999, which revolutionized the popularity of quarters among both collectors and the general public. The 1997, with D mint mark, thus represents the last full year of the traditional eagleback design before the modern commemorative wave took over, increasing its value for those who appreciate its transitional significance. For many collectors, the appeal of the quarter $1,997, with D mint mark, lies not only in its historical placement but also in the quality of surviving specimens. Coins preserved in high-grade mint state condition are rare, as most of these quarters entered everyday circulation. Finding pristine examples with little to no wear, sharp details, and lustrous surfaces is difficult, which makes them much more desirable and expensive at auctions. The Denver Mint's output for 1997, with D mint mark, was substantial, but scarcity comes from rarity in condition and errors. A common circulation piece might not hold extraordinary value, but when combined with unique minting errors such as clipped planchets, double strikes, or die cracks, the price escalates dramatically. The thrill for collectors lies in spotting these rare variations and preserving them, as they can turn out to be worth far more than anyone would initially expect. Demand for the quarter $1,997, with D mint mark, has steadily grown among serious collectors who recognize its role as both a historical marker and a treasure among Washington quarters. The coin represents a final chapter in the eagle reverse design, and with its Denver origin, its legacy is tied to one of the most productive and respected U.S. mints. Each error or high-grade specimen carries a story of survival and rarity, fueling interest in the coin market. The highest recorded value for a quarter $1,997, with D mint mark, came from a rare error specimen graded in superb mint state condition, which reached an astonishing $1.12 million at auction. This extraordinary price reflects the extreme rarity of flawless or error-filled examples, showing how a single coin can bridge the gap between ordinary circulation money and extraordinary wealth. Such a value cements the coin's position as one of the most valuable quarters of the modern era.